Welcome to, I guess you call this what, a vlog? This is a vlog. Some free games. Like anything we think, we're just gonna give it. And this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna inspire one of you.
Really give you that insight, but okay, great. I got an idea, and that's kind of how they run it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you'll see it's not rocket science, but it takes work.
Right.
You know? I ain't a businessman, I'm a business man. Now let me handle my business.
If you look inside the room and you look inside of our business, we try to hire from within the community. That's really important to us, to be able to have presence in the community and to be able to like inject finance into the community is really important to us, right? But, you know, with that being said, it comes with some challenges. You know, I mean, when you look in the room, there's all people that, you know, we have personal relationship with, whether it be friend, family, whatever. And so it's hard to really kind of separate that boss. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like how do I be a boss to people that I care about? How do I keep a business with my brother, you know what I mean, or my mother or myself, right? And so that's one of the challenges. But I use the word challenge because I think that it's really accomplishable. Like, you know, I don't know if that's a word, but it's really, you know, it's going to be difficult, but you can overcome the challenge of dealing with relationships in business, you know what I mean? And I think it takes a lot of rules, right? It takes a lot of upfront conversation. It takes a lot of navigation to be able to know in advance, you know, what you're going to be faced with and kind of address it. So, like, you know, me and Nevell, for example, like, we don't always agree a lot of the times, right? But having, you know, kind of, I guess, reference points to be like, okay, when we get into these situations, this is how we deal with it. And one of the things we just recently did was we broke down the organizational structure and we put people in roles, you know what I mean? So like he's the head of marketing. Anything to do with marketing, he got the final say. Like I could completely disagree with him, but at the end of the day, that's his department. He gonna deal with that, and I'm the head of operations. So like in the middle of operations, like if he don't like something that's happening, it's like, all right, cool. Like bring it up at the next board meeting. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes it's like you really like you pull rank with each other, you know what I'm saying? And it's like it's and that's why I talked about like the difference between working on the business and working in the business. So today it was what we do in the business. At the office is what we do on the business. And so while we in the business, like when he pull up in the kitchen, he just another brother. Like he just another dude with a hat and an apron, you know what I'm saying? And we gotta, you know, mom, she hold the head of the kitchen, so she pull rank in them positions when we disagree. I think, yeah, like having structure is really important, man, especially when you're dealing with family.
No, for sure.
Right?
100%. And I think, you know, I'll kind of touch on two pieces. The first piece being, you know, the people around you and hiring in the community. Like, yeah, we got, I think, up to 7 employees now, and all 7 are from the community. You know, we got 4 or 5 people who work in the kitchen, 2 or 3 delivery drivers, all from the community. So on one end, it's the part of like, yeah, I know this person. I can call him. I knew him before the business, so as we have that personal relationship. So it's easier to ask certain things. It's easier to say certain things. You've seen the environment we working in. Like, it's comfortable. Everyone's comfortable. We laughing. We talking about whatever the hell we talking about. But on that same breath, on the flip side, it's hard for me to say, yo, like, the chicken ain't right. You know, like it's hard for me to say that, like, and be like, because I'm a young guy too, and these are people who I pretty much grew up like looking up to and calling them aunt and different stuff. But now we in the kitchen and you working for my business, but it's hard to say some shit like, yo, you're not on time, or
right.
when it's time someone might gotta get fired. Like that would be a hard thing to do because now I gotta see him every day. So, yeah. But again, it's a challenge and it's something, you know, we work through and we setting those standards is kind of how. You mitigate it, and it makes it a little easier. And you know, it's like, yo, these are the rules from the jump. You knew that, so when you step in these lines, family's kind of out the window, and business, and I mean our relationship outside of it. But with here, this is kind of how it works.
Understanding the game, and so by having rules, you create a game. You know what I mean? And so the rules create the game, so you play within the game. And I saw like it's like there's this crazy dynamic because I mean, you know, when it's family, you're gonna go a little harder. You know what I mean? Like, cause if I'm playing for the Raptors, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go a little hard, and I'm a Laker fan, but I know what's on the line when it's the country. So it's like when you're playing for what you rep, it's like you can go a little harder. But then sometimes when it's on the reverse side, When you playing for what you rep, it's like I got that leeway, and so having that, it's a lot of gray area, but really sticking to the like script, like a wise dude, he told me what a wise dude told him, and it's been like in my brain. It was like hire slow, fire fast, right? And so like how I looked at it within our business is because we want to hire all the people that are from the community or in our community. It's like that process of hiring. We got to really set rules. That's the slow part. Like having the rules so that we can kind of lean on it and be like, yo, you signed the contract. You knew you had to be here at 8 o'clock. You knew what, you know what I mean? Like my grandmother, I tell her all the time, like, you might get fired. And she'd be like, you really would fire your grandmother? I'd be like, look, you know what? Don't judge me if I ever get into that position. But like, if you break the rules, I might give you 1, 2, maybe your third warning. But like, it is what it is. The show must go on. You know what I mean? Because this business is to fuel my life. And this is how I look at it. You're a part of my life. You know what I mean? So my grandmother, you were part of my life. You were part of my life plan. You know what I'm saying? So like, if this business is being built to be able to satisfy my life plan and you were part of my life plan, I got to protect you from you. You know what I mean? Like, I got to protect my business from you. You know what I mean? If Nevell get out of control, I got to protect the business, and we got to make decisions that, protect the business, because at the end of the day, the business is to service his life on the back end. So, by having rules and having that separation is really how you can really focus and get to because in everything you're going to have challenges.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, in everything you're going to have those difficult conversations. You know what I mean? Like me and this guy have freaking difficult conversations all the time. Like, this guy pissed me off all the time. I'm sure I piss him off all the time. You know what I mean? But it's like
sure.
we both understand what we signed up for.
Yeah, and I think, if I could jump right there, it's like, from that same wise guy, another good piece he mentioned to us is like, go into business or, even in life, have a partner who wants to solve problems.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what the bottom line is, boom, I can disagree with something and like, we'll be there combating, like, oh, no, I see it this way, but he sees it this way. But we set those boundaries and those lines and those organizational charts, like, okay, this is your role, so you have the final say. And it comes down to, at the bottom line, like, we just trying to solve the problem.
Right.
So, like, sometimes it's here, and this is a big brother. Like, this is my big bro. So all my life I've been hearing, you know what I'm saying? It's been like a pops to me, like, always get that little bro type of shit, but, when it comes to business, it's like, I'll have times I'm like, all right, freak, but I just want to show my strength. Or I just want to, but at the end of the day, when I really check myself, I'm like, we just here to solve the problem. We just trying to get through it. So boom, immediately checking those
egos.
those ego type of checks, and be like, all right, okay, here, let's figure it out. Let's move forward. Does this make sense for the business? Fuck how I feel or how I think.
Still cursing.
We here. This is, this don't stop.
Like,
this
don't
stop.
Cursing.
But yeah, it's fuck how I feel. It's like, does it make sense for the business? And
Right.
we come together and figure out what makes the most sense and solve those problems. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you're going into business, and especially with family, that got to be the main mission.
The family can be the fuel, or the family could be the fire. You know what I mean? Like that's just the reality of it. Like, the more, the more we grow in this business, the more I see how, like, I could see, because I really be always focusing and analyzing shit. I see how a lot of family businesses fail. You know what I mean? I even see how, like, families break apart in business. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it gets challenging, and it's like, like, sometimes the reality, it's like, it's easy to blame Nevell. You know what I mean? It's easy to blame mom, or it's easy to blame the employees, and it's hard to take responsibility. You know what I mean? And like when you take responsibility for the entirety, like, he talked about just solving the problem. Like, I may run my division, but this business is still mine. You know what I mean? I'm still a shareholder. Like, I still own like 30% of this company. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, it's like, this all belongs to me. You know what I mean? Just like it all belongs to him, and it all but I can't do all the work. He can't do all the work. But knowing that I'm responsible for it is really important, because if I see Nevell slipping, but I know better, it's like, yo, pull up. You know what I mean? Like, let's sit down, let's chop it up. And then on the other side, it's like, when I'm slipping and I get checked on it, it's like, I gotta like check my ego to be like, all right, you know what? Let me hear what he got to say, because at the end of the day, like, this is mine as much as it's his. And I know for 100% fact that he wants to win. I know that he's trying to win. I know my mom's trying to win. Like, I know everybody that's a part of this is trying to win. So it's like, if I know you're trying to win, maybe I'm missing something and then you see something different. You know what I mean? And so having that, like, ability to be able to, like, all right, cool, let me hear what you got to say, right? And then we work into the problem to solve it. Like, we're just trying to solve it. And I know if we commit to solving problems, we'll get through anything. You know what I mean? And so that's really, like, the takeaway is, like, you know, in business, you know, in life, but in business specifically, you know, understand the game, set the rules, right? So you know the game you're playing. Try to find players that match your game, that match your goals and your vision for what you want, and people that are going to be willing to play by the rules. And when they don't, you got to get rid of them, whether it's family or not. And because the business is the service to family.
I ain't a businessman, I'm a business, man. Now let me handle my business.